despite what their moms told them. They just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot. And really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Wednesday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe. At Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there. Join the militia live on Twitter X right now, in fact. For a segment of the show, maybe possibly, but definitely today, because we have limited time and we want to make sure that we get to your thoughts. And if you want to chime in, you have the opportunity to do so. So a 87-83 win at NC State last night in a game where Syracuse was pretty handily ahead. And we could talk about the comeback that the WolfPack try to rain down on Syracuse. And, you know, by the end of the game, Chris Bell started this thing, got this thing going with a tremendous showing in the first half with 26 points, pretty much blanketed with a defender for the second half and shut him out. But it was Quadir Copeland who came through at the end. Again, for me, this is two games recently, two big wins. Well, the UNC win and this win, Copeland played an integral part at the end of the games and just doing what he does to make sure that the deal is sealed. And with a career high for him of 26 points, I mean, tremendous. He had 5 points in the first meeting between these two teams.
Yeah.
And, you know, the foul discrepancy was a little bit different this go around. We got to the line plenty at home. We couldn't buy a foul in this game. And, they were giving them away on the other end of the court, which you would say, well, you guys won. Why are you going to bitch about that? Well, because it's stupid. And I don't know what the hell the rules even exist for anymore if we're not going to call them at both ends of the court. So anyways, a good win. It was a quad one win as soon as the buzzer hit last night. This morning, though, unfortunately, NC State dropped to 80th, which will bring this to a quad two game. So just go figure. You root for NC State from here on out for the rest of the season. And, you know, I mean, look, we can get a third quad win out of it. And just a good game, and didn't hit the panic button. Red really did a good job. I thought during this comeback, we kept the team kind of even keeled. We saw NC State get very frustrated in some very dumb fouls on their part, a flagrant and an intentional. I don't know what the difference is, but either way, there isn't a difference, right? It used to be,
think so.
To be intentional, and now they call a flagrant one, but they called the flagrant one an intentional last night, if I remember right. But anyway, out of both of those plays on NC State's part, out of frustration and clearly obvious, and the one I have to say on Copeland, where the camera is just right in his face and he is looking at his hand and he's like, dude, he's great. I'm sorry. If he's not on our team, I'm like, that mother effer. What a scumbag.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But, dude, you got to have one of those guys on your team, and we got that guy on our team, and that's Quadir Copeland. So I'm happy with it.
Hey, for the record, too, your brother's favorite player on this team
is Quadir Copeland? Shut up.
I think it's because he played basketball and he can see how good he is, and he's got the street ball mentality.
Well, he's got the Philly street ball mentality. That's what he does.
Oh yeah, you saw that last night for sure.
Yes.
So.
Well, we see it a lot. It's just it was almost flawlessly executed last night.
Yep.
When you talk about some of the circus shots, I mean, there was one that went in and it was just like, you know, come on. you know what I'm saying? It's like,
well, I mean, and imagine if he ever develops a 3-point shot. Like they say, it's been getting better, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, but you know, he's got the pieces in place to where it's not like a pressing issue. Right. You know, he does so many other things, including defensively, that you know you think, well, does he need it? I mean, I don't think he needs it. It would help, but I don't think he needs it. So anyway, excellent game. Had my butt puckered up for quite a bit of the second half. It's frustrating. My wife had to leave the room. She couldn't watch it, and I wasn't screaming or anything.
Hey,
when they took
the lead, I was like, oh, there it is. That's about right.
You know, you try not to think, oh boy, here comes the implosion, and they're gonna blow this thing right now or what? And obviously they didn't, but it sure was trending that way. But that just goes. I mean, we've kind of seen that this year with this team is in the maturity level of not to implode. The last year's team would collapse, under their own weight once the lead was taken. In fact, maybe even during the comeback there, if you want to call it that, the run that NC State had last night. But Chris Bell, he hits 8 threes in a row, and I am like, can he miss?
I was going. It was great.
Can he miss? I mean, it was amazing.
Like giddy, like a little kid.
I know, it was amazing.
You gotta be kidding me. Everyone.
It was awesome. The foul discrepancy was awful. Rebounds, again, Syracuse keeps rebounds close enough, -1. They keep them close enough to where it doesn't become an issue.
Turnovers are the same.
Yeah, so, I mean, it came down to execution, and they just had the cushion in the first half to be able to set themselves up to kind of ride this thing.
Is that what you call it? Cushion?
Yeah.
55 points in the first half, and we only had 60 in the whole game against Georgia Tech. So,
and you ask yourself, Joe, like, what the hell? Like, what happened at Georgia Tech?
Inconsistency. We didn't hit our shots.
But
I mean, that's just...
Yeah, we didn't hit our shots, and we were excellent last night. I don't know what it was in the first half, but it ended up being 50%, 51 basically, but which isn't terrible.
At some point
and by the way,
shooting like 70% or something like that. It was stupid.
Yeah, in the first half, in 94% on the free throws, 18 for 19. Just one of them, a crucial one. It was after that intentional foul by Burns. That was a 5-point.
Swing.
That was a 5-point swing. I was looking for another word, but yeah, it was a 5-point swing right there. I think we went down there tied, and then he got the bucket. He got one foul shot, and we scored on that possession too. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you said something about the fouls, and I get it. The discrepancy was, but we did. I mean, went to the free throw line 19 times, hit 18 of them, then 95%. So. That's obvious. That's good, but obviously
maybe
NC State went 29 times, so they had 10 more shots from the free throw line. So
it's more so the inconsistency of it for me, and it doesn't come down to. It does come down to the discrepancy, but the inconsistency is just one thing that's probably the most frustrating thing because is sports fans, as Syracuse fans, and just sports fans in general. You have to have consistency so you know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And you watch a game like that, and you're thinking at the end of this thing that there's a lot of ACC ref conspiracies amongst the Orange faithful, right? So give them a reason not to. You know what I'm saying? Give them a reason not to. We just talked a couple episodes about Jim Boeheim's not on the sideline. The officiating seems to be a little bit different this year. And then we start going down south the last part of this schedule. And exactly, it's like, well, what the hell happened? Actually, there was a lot of home games in that stretch. And the rest of it was non-conference. So anyway, we can sit here and blast that all day. And I'll do it too. I'll do it on a win too. But I mean, it's, it is amongst these things at No Blanchard 44, beat a quad 1 conference opponent on the road and beat the refs at the same time. Damn good win. However, I still think we need to win out and make a deep run in the ACC tournament to have a chance for an at-large bid. And it comes into, like you said, Joe, I agree with most of that, by the way. And I think, it comes down to if Syracuse can win out, if Syracuse can get into the top 4 in the ACC, which they are right there, by the way. I mean, we need some teams to lose. Unfortunately, these teams are rooting for to be quad 1 wins at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But that being Pitt and NC State, but if a couple things go wrong for some of these teams, Wake Forest being one of them, and we sneak in there, I mean, that's a 2-game bye, Joe. So, I mean, that's huge.
Now only a game and a half away.
Yeah,
right?
And you're playing a big dog after that, most likely, right? I mean, So, I mean, I think they're all pretty. Any one of these teams can win on any given day. I think the ACC is still one of the best conferences in the country. just historically speaking, every time they're poo-pooed is a dying conference, four ACC teams go to the Final Four. So remember that a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
you have any comments about refs?
Yeah, I just had one. I haven't skimmed through these. At Roger Clark 41, good win on the road. That kind of game has gotten away from them. So appreciate them hanging in there and getting the W. Yeah, like I said last year, I feel like this team would have folded on their own weight and just gave up on this one, but they didn't. And we've seen that this year. I think that's been a stark difference compared to last year as far as effort and all of that goes. What do you got?
Oh, I mean, there's some trolls in here,
Well, let's hear the trolls out. No.
I mean, we got top fan Brian Gray.
Okay. I'll give it up.
Good win for our NIT chances. James, now let's not lay. Okay, I thought he said now let's low. Yeah, okay, I thought he said something different. But also was it okay? Yeah, Eric, JT needs more minutes. I think that was a troll. So
poor Justin Taylor with his 2 points again. But he did have a couple. He get a couple big rebounds. I mean, I give credit where credit's due. I guess there's a couple timely ones. One especially. With that said, I mean, it's not a whole lot there on that line, but I digress.
No. Richard, Syracuse could not get fouls called, but NC State got plenty of and ones. If you let touch fouls go on one end, why are they a bonus on the home team end?
Judah Mintz got hammered numerous times. Quieter Copeland. Over the back again on Malik Brown. I understand these guys.
There was that one he drove to the left and DJ Burns had his arm like on his shoulder as he was like jumping up, and I'm like, how is that not? So yeah, I mean, it was a great win, dude. I mean, that's just all you can really say. I mean, but it's a back and forth. This is just what it is. It's
like a roller coaster.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? You don't know what you're going to get. There's inconsistencies and. Some things don't make sense sometimes, I mean, I know that Quadir Copeland came in, and I know Judah had to sit early, which again, that sucks on the refs too, by the way. Just a situation where if the refs put you in a situation where you have so many fouls that you don't want to play as aggressive because you don't want to send the other team to the free throw line, then you get a situation like last night where, albeit it was Judah was sitting while Chris Bell went on this tear, so who knows if it happens if Judah's in there, but he had to sit down with 2 quick fouls and sat 10 minutes, I believe, in the first half. And he only ended up at 28 minutes, and he still only ended up with 2 fouls. But by the time he could play in the second half, he couldn't be aggressive because you didn't want to put, NC State to, the free throw line while they were having their little comeback run. So double-edged sword, we only get 28 minutes from him. Also, too, a lot of people talking about Copeland. A lot of people talking about MVP was Copeland. MVP came off the bench. Like, I mean, do you see a time when Copeland
is
maybe not
starting?
I mean, okay, so I think there's probably going to be some people that think that to one point, but I guess my question is like last night he played the game that he played, and he had 26 minutes. I mean, I don't know. I can see in a world where he doesn't start. But I mean, when are we going to start questioning the fact that the way he plays? I mean, he's probably deserving of 30 plus minutes at this point, right? I mean,
Copeland.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no question about it. The dude stays out of foul trouble most of the time. Look, past couple games been a little different, but he does the things. He does the things that why did we love Mark Dolezaj, Joe? Why did we love him?
Probably the same reason why we love Quadir Copeland and Malik Brown.
Which is?
Just all the little things that
all the things that don't make the stat sheet, all the things that matter, that the effort, the heart, the determination, all of that that you don't see on paper, that you have to watch the game for. That's why
he was attacking the board yesterday.
Oh my gosh! I mean, he attacked everything.
Yeah, well, the basket too. I mean, he was dribbling through guys. I had no idea how the ball was getting through, and I mean, even then, there was a couple times when he was just too fancy for his own good. He had some turnovers, And
Judah had a couple bad turnovers too, so a bad pass late in the game. Just some of that little tick.
JJ had a couple bad ones too. Yep.
Yeah. David in the spaces. Did Joe get the crack right this time? No, Joe didn't get the crack right this time.
Huh?
Or last time? No, that was me. I waited for Joe's, and all I heard was like a pff. It was like just a silent but nothing. And so
I act like I'm like actually like open up a package like powdered milk or something.
That's what it sounded like. If you want something done right, David, you got to do it yourself. I brought a beer in here. I gave Joe his opportunity. He failed. I had to step in to save it. That's part of the show. It's a staple of the show. Everybody's been missing it. I'm getting DMs left and right about it. So you know what? I'm not. Sounded good though. Okay, let's get back to it. I like this one because I said it, and I agree. At Orange Doug 85, I'm glad Q is on the team because if he was on another team, we'd hate him. So true. I mean, absolutely. You wouldn't be able to stand that guy. That showboating, the whole thing, every bit of it. He was talking some trash yesterday too, and clapping as guys got off the floor and stuff like that. Like, I love all that stuff. This is why I love Eric Devendorf. Eric Devendorf is popping off constantly. You have to love it. Well, you don't have to, but I do. But you got that guy in your team. It's very frustrating as a fan to watch, and it's very frustrating to players. And if you can toe a line like Quadir Copeland does, when he's got a little close last night, but you toe that line without getting teed up or something like that, I mean, that's another feather in your cap. That's another tool in the toolbox to use. And by all means, freaking use it. You have to do it. Let's see. Oh boy. Cuse, let's go. Chris Bell was fire in the first half, then a ghost in the second half. A great team basketball. Need to box out better, but they finally got a call. And they win the game. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. This got sealed up with like Judah having it over the back and pushed down to the ground basically and going and hitting a couple free throws, right? He had to put it 3-4 points ahead.
And that's the other thing too, is near the end, I mean, they didn't call that foul on Quadir Copeland. I was so surprised. That last shot.
Yeah, I know. We're letting them play, man, down there.
Well, I mean, they were, yeah. I get it. That's true.
At Matt Sherman 52, best part of the game inside 130. NC State tied it, and the WolfPack band started playing neck. You have to clue me in on that. To throw kind of shade into Lose is brutal. Guess they shouldn't be so quick to play it. Is that their fight song? Neck?
I don't know.
I don't know. Wish I would have proofread that one first before I went after it. At Trade CNBC. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's see. Copeland has that dog in him. Matt was in there in the spaces. Maybe you can tell me what neck is, Matt, please. Because now I feel dumb.
He does have that dog in him. That's for sure.
He does. Absolutely. At Trade CNBC, whatever the hell that is. Once again, Red was exposed as a poor coach. Spent much of the game asking GMAC what to do. Let them blow a 15-point lead, never doing anything with Bell in the second half. Bell was trying like hell. Bell's got to get open. He was covered for most of that second half. Not having guys rebound for free throws late in games. Is that when he's taking guys off the line? Is that what he's talking about? That's an old Boeheim thing too. He gets them set up on defense.
I don't know.
Instead of standing on the line. I mean,
I don't know.
Nah, I don't know either.
I mean, it's just one of those things where you get those comments, right? And then there's a comment on Facebook that says something like, like, how does it feel to, have a coach that calls plays? Going to shot at Boeheim because just seemingly they just had they didn't really call a lot of plays. They had a lot of motion stuff that just roll through, and then they do like pick and roll stuff. So it's funny that you get, one aspect of that and then another aspect sees something different. I know that Draymond Green, actually, I saw it in an article. I don't know if it was Inside the Loud House or But I guess Draymond Green, they were saying to troll Syracuse coaches because he had said something on Twitter about the coaches not doing anything to try to get Chris Bell open after he was 8 for 8 or something like that, and kind of, trolling the coaches as well. So it's funny how people have different aspects of that, but to me, I feel like the people that see the difference are the people that were like kind of sick of the way that Boeheim ran his stuff, and they see the difference. I think that someone like a Draymond Green, he can probably look at it, from a bird's eye view, being in the NBA and all, and not really being an avid Syracuse follower to see actually what this offense used to look like. And also Chris Bell played 40 minutes, I think, for the first time all season. So who knows if that had anything to do with trying to get open.
If he's, well, maybe, but even so, you have a first half like that, you go out there, you're a decoy in the second, regardless of what happens.
Well, and
you're taking at least one defender off of everything.
Well, and that's probably why Judah and JJ had, their opportunity, and Quadir had their opportunities to get to the line a little bit easier because, now you got a guy you can't help off of, no matter what's going on. Right?
Yeah, you have to stay there.
I mean, that's how he got a lot of those threes. There's a couple of threes where, Malik Brown had, 5 assists, 6 assists? The ball was getting into him, and then people were helping on him, and he was kicking it out to the open shooter, and they completely shut that down in the second half. So, again, yes, he might not have been running around like, Jerry McNamara and how Andy Routens used to, try to get open, the way Steph Curry runs around until he gets open and just tiring the defender out. But he definitely was sitting in the short corner, and he was holding a defender there and basically keeping a defender away from being able to come in and help for sure. So
at Mike S748555165, beat Pitt 2 times, beat NC State 2 times, beat Oregon, beat UNC, beat Miami, beat LSU, 84 in the net, outside the bubble with an 8-8 conference and a 17-10 overall. Net has our record wrong, 16-10. Very odd that our resume is diminished and others are being touted, finish 20-11 or 21-10, win 2 ACC tournament games. He's shorthanding this. Win 2 ACC tournament games, 23-11 in, he says. So we used to go by, you remember when we used to go by wins? We used to be like, all right, well, we want 20 plus wins and we'll be good.
Yeah.
And it was like almost like clockwork. And then just everything changed. And with the net, I feel like the net is becoming just another tool of corruption for whoever is in control of things to.
Yeah. See, and that's and the thing with that too is the reason why we're 16-10 in the net. It's not because they have our record wrong.
There's one game, right, that didn't count because of the what was it? Am I right?
It was the
D1 AA school or something. What was it?
That's the crux of playing in the Maui Invitational.
Oh, that's right.
And if you eventually play Chaminade for that 7th place game,
right?
That game, it counts as a win in your record, but Chaminade is not in the net rankings. Therefore, that doesn't count towards the net rankings.
I'm sure if they lost that game, though, there would be. That would affect the net.
No.
Not that it matters winning it, right?
Oh, it might have affected the net. It wouldn't have counted in the record in the net.
Well, you got to have both or nothing.
I don't yeah, then I guess it probably wouldn't have affected it, I would assume.
Right.
That would just be a super bad look.
Yeah.
It's one thing losing to Colgate, completely different team losing, or completely different story when you lose to a team that's not even in Division I.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Like Lemoyne in an exhibition. Remember how embarrassing that was?
Yeah, but after all, it was an exhibition.
Right, which is why it's not the same.
Right.
And we did beat Chaminade by almost 50 points. So.
Right. All right, Matt, unmute, or if you ever hold yourself, if you have something to say, we got to be quick, though, because we are on a time crunch right now. What's up?
Okay. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, very loud and clear. Yes, I can hear you. Yep.
Perfect. Okay, am I allowed to swear?
You do what you got to do, brother.
Okay, neck. Let me explain it to you. Okay. Neck was an LSU anthem.
Yes, that's what Nadal sent us. Yeah.
Yep. Do you remember the hip hop song "Talking Out the Side of Your Neck"?
I can't say that I do. Joe?
Okay.
Joe's the hip hop guy.
Nah, I mean, I'm hip-hop like
I'm 90s hip hop.
years ago.
Yeah, me too. That's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there was a song "Talking Out the Side of Your Neck."
Okay.
LSU students rewrote the lyrics to it, and one of the big lines in it is "Suck that tiger bitch."
Okay.
So
It's positive.
LSU eventually banned that song from at games, but after they did that, other schools adopted it. And so, like, when Florida State was playing LSU and Florida State beat them, at the very end, the band started playing Neck. So it's kind of like the band saying, "Suck our."
Okay.
That's essentially, they only play it in certain situations, and the NC State band did that to us when they tied the game, and then they lost.
Gotcha. Well,
So that's kind of the reference.
Okay.
I just wanted to clear that up, is that
Yeah.
the NC State band pretty much told us to suck their and then they ended up losing the game. So it was great for people. Like, I knew what was going on. It's kind of hard to catch the tune sometimes, but I realized it right away.
Okay. Well, thank you for putting that in context multiple times. Appreciate it. So anyway, okay. Well, it makes sense. I get it now. Now I'm offended, Matt.
Very
Thank you.
disrespectful. Yep.
You know what? Look up when LSU did it with everybody singing. I believe that I put it in your thread.
Oh, okay.
Of like a short little video of them actually doing it. So,
Okay. I will definitely check it out.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Good.
Thanks, man.
Yep. Bye.
All right,
Thanks,
bye.
buddy.
Well, there you go.
All right.
Plug your ears.
Very disrespectful song.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, I guess if it's just audio, it is what it is, right?
I mean, I guess the good thing is they didn't have enough fans there to be loud
not audio,
enough. Right?
Instrumental, I meant to say. Yeah, right. Real quick, Joe, give us your thoughts on the crappy Notre Dame team that I haven't watched too much Notre Dame this year, and the reason is because, they're 9-16, they're 13th in the ACC. They are sitting. Where are they sitting in this joint?
Pretty down there.
4-10. They're down there with Georgia Tech, who beat us, and Louisville. So the all-time series between the two teams is sitting at 33-23. Last year, we played them twice. Played them in December and in January. Swept them both games. We're on a 2-game win streak. The last game, Mintz, Gerard, Edwards, Bell, and Williams. Starting 5. Bell, 17 points. Edwards, 15 rebounds. I look at this roster, Joe. Maybe you can help me out. Maybe Roper, I remember. But I don't remember anybody else on this roster. I have not watched one game, admittedly. My bad. Shooting just under 40% from the field. 72.7% from the line and 29.8% from 3-point range. And look, this game is a home game, right? We're going back to the Dome for this one. So when is this? This is Saturday at noon. And I expect this to be, look, you don't ever want to look past a team, but if you're going to look past one, this could be one. Not that I recommend it, Joe.
No, we just got to stop doing that. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
I agree.
Look, this team's in rebuild mode, right? I mean, they lost. We know for a fact. Cormac Ryan, right? He went to North Carolina. JJ Starling went to Syracuse. They lost their coach. They got a brand new coach. And to be perfectly honest with you, this really is one we shouldn't worry about because it's home. And, we only have 2 more home games left. And I just realistically I don't know, man. Like, we have to win these next 2 games at home. And obviously it starts with this one game at a time. And I guess my only issue is we can't look past anybody. I mean, this team has shown us that we can't look past anybody. And, as much as this team isn't great, they're 4-10 in the ACC. They have done a couple things that we haven't done, and that is beat Virginia.
Yeah,
and they beat Virginia by 22 at home. So I guess that was. I mean, I guess I talked to a buddy who's a Virginia fan, and they said that Notre Dame was just on fire from the three. But they also won at Georgia Tech, and then they beat them again at home their last game. So. And they just beat Virginia Tech as well, which is our next opponent after them. So I don't want to look past Notre Dame and start talking about Virginia Tech yet. But, one game first. We only have 2 home games. It's on a Saturday, last Saturday home game. So, I mean, I want to see a crowd, and I don't know. I don't know what to expect anymore from this team. I don't know what to expect from this fan base, how they're going to look at it, because not only – are we not living up to expectations of certain fans? But, Notre Dame, it's not like they're a team. I mean, usually they travel well, and usually there's a pretty good Notre Dame fan base in Syracuse, except for, how much are they going to show up because they're that bad? You know what I mean?
Right. I'm laughing at David. David with the stats. I mean, any stat, every stat, it's Dave, this super stat guy, right? Don't pick the game. 2-game winning streak when you don't pick. 2-game losing streak when you do pick. So, there you go, Joe. So don't even do it.
Last time he said that we.
I know. He was begging for it. He wanted it.
So we didn't pick NC State then, right?
We didn't pick NC State. That's correct.
Okay.
So we won't pick tonight, but.
No, but we got to expect to win. But I'm looking more. Obviously, I want them to win, but also I would like a good turnout at the Dome. To be perfectly honest with you, and I just hope that the Syracuse Notre Dame contingent shows up, even though they're not, that good this year.
Yeah, well, you got to imagine Starling's home, and he's gonna be motivated. The dude's already, good, right? So I mean. It's just a little bit extra for him. And that's one of those moments, that you get to shine against your old team. Doesn't happen very often. So I look for that. Plus,
they were on a 7-game losing streak before they
I was
beat
just going to say that.
Yeah, they beat Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech back to back at home. But now they are going on the road for 2 games, and they're actually playing tonight at 7:00 on ESPNU at Louisville, who is kind of down at the bottom as well. I mean, I would call them terrible. We almost lost at home against them, and we also have to play them later.
I understand, but they are last in the ACC.
Duly noted.
So, okay, we will not pick upon request by Superstat Dave. So, look, we were going to push this off to tomorrow night, and I'm glad we didn't, because it becomes irrelevant to me to even talk about it tomorrow. We had a small window. I'm not trying to cut you short, but we're a little pressed for time. So we appreciate all of you for hanging out, hanging in the spaces, especially get in the spaces. Look, what happens in the spaces stays in the spaces after the show, sometimes, once in a while. So you never know what can happen there. Right, Joe?
Yeah, watch your neck.
Watch your neck, okay? Get the neck out. That's all I got to say about that. For Joe, Sean, we're out.
Peace.
Something like that.